Hello everyone, welcome back to Atreyu Crochet. So in today's video, I am going to be making a hat to match the scarf that I made last year. I've been getting tons of comments from you guys, thank you for them by the way, requesting a matching hat. So yeah, in today's video, we're finally going to make that matching hat. Let's get to it. Things you will need include some Bernat pop yarn. If you like this, you can find a link to it in the description. You're going to need a darning, weaving, tapestry needle, pair of scissors, and this yarn calls for a size I, and that is US hook. And by the way, that's 5.5 millimeters. Okay, let's get started. Alright, so we're going to start by making a slip knot. So wrap it around your finger, twist, exchange, wrap that around your finger, pull this over that one and off your finger while pulling up on the one that's still on your finger, and insert your size I USA 5.5 millimeter crochet hook into the loop and pull to tighten. Alright, so now we are going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we're going to put 15 double crochets into that very first chain, or the fourth chain from the hook. Here's the hook. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fourth chain from the hook. So yarn over, enter the first chain. You can get 1 loop or you can get 2 loops. Okay, I like to get 2 most of the time. Yarn over, pull through to the front, 3 loops, 1, 2, 3, yarn over, go through 2, 1, 2, yarn over, go through 2, 1, 2, yarn over, go back in there, yarn over, pull through to the front, 3 loops, yarn over, go through 2, 1, 2, yarn over, go through 2, 1, 2, yarn over, go back in there, yarn over, pull through to the front. You can just move the tail out of the way. 3 loops, 1, 2, 3, yarn over, go through 2, 1, 2, yarn over, go through 2, 1, 2, yarn over, go back into that same first chain. Remember, that's where we're putting all of our double crochets. Okay, yarn over, go back in there, yarn over, pull through to the front, yarn over, go through 2, 1, 2, yarn over, go through 2, 1, 2. Okay, and you can kind of rotate them around. Okay, and let's count this chain 3 that was left by working into the fourth chain from the hook, or the very first chain that we made. That doesn't count. Okay, so here's the first actual double crochet. You can look at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I have 10 more to make for a total of 15 double crochets. I will make them and I will see you shortly. Alright, so I have my 15 double crochets made. You can count the tops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Okay, that's the 15 right there. Remember, do not count the chain 3. Alright, so now, because we're not counting that chain 3, we're going to bypass it, and we're going to slip stitch into the top of the very first double crochet. So slice the icing off the top of the cake like that, yarn over, and pull all the way through like that. Okay, now the fun part begins, because we get to start that pattern that was used in the scarf, which is basically just double crochet 2 together. Okay, so even though you're going to see the bodies of 2 double crochet, it's only going to amount to 1 stitch. And you can tell that by looking at the top. Okay, so first thing, let me just say round 1 had 15 stitches. Round 2, which is what we're now in, will have 30, because we're going to put 2 stitches in every stitch around. Okay, so we're going to double the number of stitches. At the beginning of every round, you want to first chain 3, 1, 2, 3, which does not count as a stitch. We're just doing that to get to the height of this round. Okay, So now, as I just said, we're going to put 2 stitches in every stitch, but we're going to start that cool pattern with the double crochet 2 together. So you always want to go into the same place where you slip stitch, which was the top of that first double crochet, right? Remember we sliced the icing? That's where we're going to enter. So to double crochet 2 together, which will be the main stitch of this hat, okay? Whenever I say, okay, the pattern is 1, that's what you're going to make. You're going to make that double crochet 2 together. The way you do it is you yarn over like normal, slice the icing off the top of the cake, yarn over, pull through to the front. You have 3 loops. Now you yarn over and go through 2. Yarn over 1 and then go through 2. Before we complete this double crochet, we're going to start another double crochet, okay? So we're going to yarn over, re-enter the same place, go into the same place, yarn over, pull through to the front. And now we're going to have 4 loops. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to yarn over and go through 2. 1, 2. And then that's going to leave us with 3 loops. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to yarn over and we're going to go through all 3 loops. Go through everything. Okay? We just double crochet 2 together. Okay? You see 2 bodies, right? You see that one and you see that one. But when you look at the top, there's only 1 top there. Okay? So that's how you double crochet 2 together. And that means that technically, even though you see 2 bodies, this is only 1 stitch, as is evidenced by that 1 top. But remember, I said for this round, we're going to be doubling the number of stitches. So we're going to go back into that same place, to that same first stitch, and we're going to put a regular double crochet. So yarn over, re-enter that same stitch for the umpteenth time, yarn over, pull through to the front, 3 loops, 1, 2, 3, yarn over, go through 2, 1, 2, yarn over, go through 2, 1, 2. So that was a regular double crochet. And now this 1 stitch has 2 stitches in it, 1, 2. Okay? Once again, it's going to look like there are 3 stitches, right? If you look at the bodies, 1, 2, 3. But no, you have 2 stitches, 1 and 2. Okay? And that's why, even though you're going to see all these bodies as we go around, the bodies of the stitches, sorry, I'm being silly, you're only going to have a total of 30 stitches. So you're going to pay attention to the tops. Let's do another one. So that was just that 1 stitch. We did all of that for that 1 stitch. And the next one we're going to repeat. So it's going to get 2 stitches. So the first one will be a double crochet 2 together. So we yarn over, enter the stitch, and partially complete the double crochet. But before we complete it, we yarn over and re-enter the stitch. Okay. Now we have 4 loops. Yarn over, go through 2, 1, 2. Yarn over, go through everything. Okay. That was 1. But remember, every stitch in round 2 will get 2 stitches. So for that second stitch, we yarn over, re-enter that same stitch, and just make a regular double crochet. Okay, like that. Okay, let's do it one more time, and then I'll let you get to it. So yarn over, enter the next stitch, double crochet 2 together. So start 1, start another one, go through 2, and then go through everything, like that. And then back in there for a regular double crochet. Okay, so this 1 stitch has these 2 stitches, 1, 2 in it. This stitch has these 2 stitches, 1, 2 in it, and this stitch has these 2 stitches, 1, 2 in it. Okay, and you see we're doubling the number of stitches. All right, I promise this will be the last one. Yarn over, so double crochet 2 together. Okay, back in there, 4 loops, go through 2, yarn over, go through everything, but then go in there and make a double crochet like that. Okay, continue in that fashion, and I will see you around there. Alright, so I want to pop on a little bit early just to show you a couple more examples. So we got 2 more stitches, 1, 2, okay, and we're going to put 2 stitches in each of these stitches, so that means we have technically 4 more stitches to make. So the first one will be a double crochet 2 together, 3 loops, yarn over, go through 2. Before finishing, yarn over, re-enter, yarn over, pull through to the front, 4 loops, yarn over, go through the first 2, 3 loops now, yarn over, go through everything. That's 1. But then back in there for the regular double crochet. So remember, you're always going to end with the regular double crochet for this round. Okay? Last stitch, double crochet 2 together. Like that. And then back in there with the regular double crochet. Okay, I told you we should have 30 stitches for this, so let's count them. And remember, you don't want to count the bodies because it's deceiving. You have more bodies than you have tops. You want to count the tops of the stitches. That's going to tell you how many stitches you actually have. So let's start over here. That's the first top. That's the chain 3. We don't count it, but we do count this top. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. It's always good if you get to the halfway point, halfway along your circle, so that's 15. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. So I kept my word. I told the truth. You have 30 stitches, even though you have many more bodies than 30, okay? But the tops of the stitches, the tops are what matter. All right, so bypass this chain 3 and go into the first stitch, which is there, and make a slip stitch. Yarn over and pull all the way through, okay? Round 1, 15 stitches. Round 2, 30 stitches. Round 3, we'll have 45. Let's chain 3, 1, 2, 3, which does not count as a stitch, but it's only to get us to the height of round 3. And the pattern for this round will be 1, 2, okay? The pattern for round 2 was 2. We just put 2 stitches in every stitch, so it was 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, right? But round 3, the pattern will be 1, 2, okay? So what does that look like? Well, remember, you always put your first stitch in the same place where you slip stitch because we slip stitch into that first stitch. So the 1 will just be a double crochet 2 together. So yarn over, enter the same place where you slip stitched, yarn over, pull through to the front, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, start another one, re-enter that same place, okay? Yarn over, pull through to the front, 4 loops, yarn over, go through 2. Now you have 3 loops, yarn over, go through everything. That's the 1. Remember, the double crochet 2 together is the basic stitch for this hat, okay? That's what's going to give you the look of the scarf, okay? So whenever I say 1, that means you make a double crochet 2 together. So that's our 1. Even though there are 2 bodies, it only has that 1 top, okay? So it's 1 stitch, okay? 1 for 1. So I said the pattern was 1, 2. So we're done with that one because that's the 1. That means we can go to the next stitch for our 2. So we start by making the double crochet 2 together. Okay, that's the first stitch in that one, but this one gets a 2. Whenever you have to make the 2, that second stitch, because remember that's only 1, it's just a regular double crochet. Okay, so like that. Now this stitch has 2. It has 1, 2. Okay, this stitch had 1. This stitch had 2, 1, 2. Now the pattern repeats. Okay, so the next stitch will get 1, but remember 1 is a double crochet 2 together. So that's the 1. Okay, 1, 1. But the next stitch will get 2. So we do the double crochet 2 together. And then back in there for 2, which is just a regular double crochet. Okay? Another way to say this, if you don't want to look at it as 1, 2, is double crochet 2 together, next stitch. So in the next stitch, put a double crochet 2 together, like that. And then the next stitch will get a double crochet 2 together. And then back in there, same stitch will get a regular double crochet. Okay, that's still the 2, but I'm just using different terms. I'll do it again. Next stitch, double crochet 2 together. Next stitch, double crochet 2 together. Same stitch, regular double crochet. Okay? Next stitch, double crochet 2 together. By the way, that's your one. Next stitch, double crochet 2 together. Same stitch, regular double crochet. By the way, that's your 2. 1, 2. Okay, so that's the pattern. 1 and then 2. 1 in there and then 2 in there. 1 in there and then 2 in there. 1 in there and then 2 in there. 1 in there and then 2. 1, 2 in there. Okay? Continue in that fashion and I will meet you around there. See you soon. Alright, you guys, I have completed round 3, which has 45 stitches. Okay, so round 1, 15, round 2, 30 stitches, round 3, 45 stitches, and I'm going to do one more round because this is not quite big enough to fit the crown of my head. By the way, let me take a moment right now to show you what I mean when I say that. So when I say you should get your diameter so that it fits the crown of your head, this is what I mean. This is like a little dummy thingy. But yeah, you want it to fit the crown of your head. Right now, this is, I mean, it, you know, it's a little small for this head. So I want it to be a little bit wider. Okay, so it fits more of the crown of my head. And then I'm going to cease with my increase rows. So that means I'm going to just be maintaining the same number of stitches. Whenever you start to maintain the same number of stitches, what happens is it starts to curve. Okay, so that's why it started to curve down, because I was no longer doing increase rows at this point. I was just maintaining the number of stitches, whatever that number was. Okay, so for this, I'm going to do one more round. That's going to get me to 60 stitches, and then the diameter of that circle will be big enough for my crown, and then I'm just going to maintain the 60 stitches and it'll start to curve down. Okay, so it's going to depend on the head of the person, the size of the head of the person that you're making this for. That's going to, you know, determine how many rounds you should make. Okay, maybe if you're making this for a kid, this is already sufficient. Maybe this is already big enough. Okay, at which point you can skip this next round and do the round thereafter, which will be my first maintain round. Okay, if you need to continue, then you'll do so like this. So keep watching. Alright, so I have my 45 stitches. As always, we bypass that chain 3. It does not count. We'll slice the icing off the top of the cake, as I like to say. So go into the top of the stitch, the first actual stitch, yarn over and pull all the way through for a slip stitch. Now we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3, which once again does not count as a stitch. It's just to get me to the height of round 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so the pattern for this round will be 1, 1, 2. Okay, in the last round, round 3, it was 1, 2. Okay, this round it will be 1, 1, 2. If you needed to make it even bigger, you needed to do an extra increase round after this round, the next one would be 1, 1, 1, 2. Okay, so you'll just continue in that fashion until you get the diameter of your circle big enough to fit the crown of the head of the person that you're making it for. Okay, alright, so 1, 1, 2, that means that in these first 3 stitches, that's 1, that's 1, and that's 1, 1, 2, 3, the pattern will be 1 stitch in there, 1 stitch in there, and 2 stitches in there. Remember that even though I'm saying 1, for this pattern, the 1 is basically crocheting 2 double crochets together. Okay, so the 1 will look like this. Yarn over, enter the same place where I slip stitch as always, go through 2, but before completing it, starting another double crochet, going through 2, being left with 3, and that's my double crochet 2 together. That's 1. Remember, even though you see 1, 2 bodies, it's 1 because there's only one top there. So that's 1. The next stitch will get 1, so I'll repeat what I just did, but I'll do it in the next stitch. Okay, so 1, 1. Next stitch will get 2. The first one is always that double crochet 2 together, but then back in there for a regular double crochet for the 2. Okay, so the next one, 1. I know you're doing a lot just to create the 1, I know. The next one, 1. The next one, 2. Back in there with a regular double crochet for 2. Okay? If you don't want to look at it as 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, then you can look at it in terms of what you're actually doing. So the next one, double crochet 2 together. Next stitch, double crochet 2 together. Next stitch, double crochet 2 together. Same stitch, regular double crochet. Okay? Next stitch, double crochet 2 together. And don't forget, you guys can slow this down if I'm moving too fast. Next stitch, double crochet 2 together. Next stitch, double crochet 2 together. Same stitch, regular double crochet. Okay? So you just continue in that fashion. Look how beautiful it's turning out. It's so thick. This is going to be such a beautiful and warm hat to match the scarf. Okay? I'll meet you guys once I get back around there. See you soon. Alright, so I have made it back around, and I did end on the 2. Okay? 1, 1, and then 2. 1, 2 as in that last one. Alright, so bypass the chain 3 and slip stitch into the top of the very first actual stitch, which is there. Yarn over, pull all the way through. Alright, so that for me was my final increase round. Now it's time to start maintaining my number of stitches, which is 60. Okay, so remember, round 1, 15 stitches, round 2, 30, round 3, 45, and the round that I just completed, round 4, has 60 stitches. I will not exceed 60 stitches because I'm done with my increase rounds. So starting the next round, round 5, I'm going to chain 3 like always. 1, 2, 3. Remember, this does not count as a stitch, and I'm just going to put 1 stitch in every stitch around. But remember, 1 stitch for this pattern is equivalent to a double crochet 2 together. So as with every other round, we always put the first stitch in the same place, the same area where we slip stitched, right? In there. So yarn over, enter, yarn over, pull through to the front, 3 loops, yarn over, go through 2, 1, 2, yarn over, and go back in there to start that second double crochet. Yarn over, pull through to the front, 4 loops, yarn over, go through 2, 1, 2, yarn over, go through 3, 1, 2, 3, or go through everything. Okay, there's a body of 2, but only 1 top, so it's 1 stitch, and we're just gonna continue doing that in every stitch around. So that stitch has 1, that stitch has 1. Do 1 more. That stitch has 1. Okay, continue in this fashion, and I will meet you back around there. See you there. Alright, so you can see that it's starting to kind of curl up now. It's because I started maintaining. Okay, there is a little like ruffling going on, and that's because it's basically 2 stitches for every 1 stitch, right? It's 2 double crochets for every 1 stitch. So I'll show you something that you can do if it's not closing up enough for you, like if it's not getting tight enough for you. But for now, I'm going to advise you to just continue making rounds identical to the one you just made. Okay, putting 1 stitch, 1 double crochet, 2 together in every stitch. And yeah, I'm going to do that until it's long enough to, fit down the side of my head. So bypass the chain 3, slip stitch into the first stitch. Okay, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, doesn't count as a stitch, right? And then go in and start making your double crochet 2 together in every stitch. Okay, so just continue doing that. This is my second non-increase round. Okay, and I will meet you in a bit after I get a few more rounds crocheted. See you soon. So as you can see, it's starting to curve up and look like a hat. Okay, so something I wanted to do was show you what you can do to close this up. If this isn't closing up quick enough for you, say you're approaching, the length that you actually want your slouchy hat to be, something that you can do is chain your 3 like normal, right? And then start alternating between these double crochet 2 together and regular double crochets. Okay, that will help to bring it in. So let me just tell you what I've done. I've crocheted 5 non-increase rows. Okay, so this is now my 6th row of non-increase. And so what you can do is you can alternate between the double crochet 2 together and regular double crochet. So for instance, I'll make my double crochet 2 together like I've been doing for the past 5 rounds. Did I say rows? I meant rounds before. Okay, but then in the next stitch I can do a regular double crochet. You still remember how to make a regular double crochet? Yarn over, go through 2 like that, and then go back to the double crochet 2 together, and then the next stitch a regular double crochet, the next stitch double crochet 2 together, next stitch regular double crochet. Okay, and that will, you can already see how it's kind of pulling in. That will help to kind of close up this opening even more. Okay, so I'm going to finish this and I'll meet you once I get back around here. Alright, so as you see, it closed the opening a little bit more, right? Okay, and so this is a good size opening for me, but if you wanted to close it up even more, you could decrease over more than 1 stitch, or you could even just go to putting regular double crochets into every stitch around. Just 1 regular double crochet in every stitch around. As I said, this size opening is good enough for me, so I don't need to make the opening any smaller. This is going to fit very nicely on my head. So what I'm going to do is, notice I ended with the 1 regular double crochet at the end in that last stitch. I'm going to skip the chain 3 as always, slip stitch into the first actual stitch, slicing the icing off the top of the cake, yarn over, pull all the way through. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Now, the benefit of continuing the double crochet 2 together pattern is that it's just that, it's the pattern. You get to maintain the look of the pattern, right? You want this to match the scarf that I made last year. So to kind of hide the fact that I have made regular double crochets in there, right? See how that's the double crochet 2 together, but that's the regular double crochet. That's the double crochet 2 together, that's the regular double crochet. What I'm going to do this time is just alternate what I did. Okay, I'm going to switch it up. So you'll notice here that first one, that's a double crochet 2 together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a regular double crochet in that stitch. So yarn over and just make a regular double crochet like that. Now in the next stitch, which is a regular double crochet, I am going to make a double crochet 2 together in there like that. Okay, and then in the next stitch, which you can tell that's a double crochet 2 together, I'm just going to put a regular double crochet, and then in the next stitch, which is a regular double crochet, I'm going to put a double crochet 2 together in there. And so you see it's going to kind of hide the fact that those regular double crochets are in there, and I think, from a more macroscopic view, it'll start to look more like that. Obviously not as neat as that, right? I mean, it'll be neat, but this is clearly double crochet 2 together in every stitch, but I think it'll be less obvious that you have deviated from that pattern by alternating between the regular double crochet and the double crochet 2 together in every row, so or round. So I'm going to continue just doing this. So the next one we'll get a regular double crochet, and the next one we'll get a double crochet 2 together, like that. Okay, I'm going to continue around, and I'll meet you once we get back there. See you soon. Alright, I have made it back around. So I'm going to bypass the chain 3 as always and slip stitch into the first actual stitch, slicing the icing off the top of the cake or the stitch, making a slip stitch. Now I'm going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and I'm just going to continue doing what I've been doing. So here that was a regular double crochet, so I'm going to put a double crochet 2 together there. And then there, that's a double crochet 2 together, so I'm going to put a regular double crochet. Okay, so always do the opposite of what you did in the previous round. This one, that's a regular double crochet, so I'm going to do a double crochet 2 together. Okay, that one, that's a double crochet 2 together, so I'm going to put a regular double crochet. Okay, so I'm going to continue making rounds because I want this to be longer, right? And I'm going to continue making those rounds until I get to my last round where I'm going to do something just a little bit different. Okay, so I'll see you there and we'll finish this hat. Alright, you guys, so I am preparing to do my last round, and that's why I'm back on camera. Alright, and so I'm going to skip the chain 3 as always, going to the next stitch, slicing the icing off the top of the cake, the stitch, and making a slip stitch. Alright, now I'm going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Alright, so since this is going to be my final round, I am going to go back to the double crochet 2 together pattern for every single stitch because I really want that pattern to be seen on the edge. Okay, also, as you can see, this is pretty big. Okay, I made it really big for my head because I have a lot of hair, and you don't have to make yours this big. I ended up doing 18 non-increase rounds. Okay, and this one will be the 19th for me. So I start at the non-increase rounds at that brown right there, and then yeah, crochet 18, and now this is going to be the 19th. Obviously, yes, this is a slouchy hat, but you wouldn't make yours this big unless you just really want it this big. But as I said, I'll be able to wear this as a tam, and I have a lot of hair, so that's why I made it this big. And I'm almost done with this cake, so it's pretty cool too. Alright, so I told you there would be something different about this final round. What's going to be different is that I am going to go to a slightly smaller stitch. So instead of doing the double crochet 2 together, I'm going to be making half double crochet 2 together. How do you do that? Well, you yarn over as if though you're making a double crochet. You enter the same place where you slip stitched, yarn over, pull through together. Okay, 3 loops, right? Yarn over, go back in there, yarn over, pull through. Okay, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 loops. Yarn over, go through 2, 1, 2, like that, and then yarn over, go through everything like that. Alright, and so that's your half double crochet 2 together. Next stitch, yarn over, pull through to the front, 3 loops, yarn over, go back in there, yarn over, pull through to the front. Now we have 5 loops, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yarn over, go through 2, 1, 2. That leaves 4 loops, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yarn over, go through everything. Okay? Yarn over, next stitch. Yarn over, go back in there, go through 2, yarn over, go through everything. Okay? And so these are the half double crochet 2 togethers. Okay? Alright, yarn over, and in the next stitch, yarn over, pull through to the front, 3 loops. Yarn over, go back in there, yarn over, pull through to the front. Now we have 5 loops. Yarn over, go through 2, 1, 2, yarn over, go through everything. Okay? And yeah, that's how you do it. So I'm going to continue making these, and I will meet you once I get back around there. See you soon. Alright, I'm going to do one more round, so chain 1, and then I'm just going to put a single crochet in every stitch. Don't forget to go into the same place where you slip stitch for the first stitch. So slice the icing off the top of the cake and make a single crochet. Next stitch, 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 single crochet. Continue in that fashion and I will meet you there. Something that I noticed that I want to show you is when you go in here, make sure you're only slicing the icing off the top of the cake, okay? You could accidentally go in between the stitches and that would be fine, but I kind of like the look of just completely slicing the icing like that, yarning over, pulling through, and making your single crochet. So see how you could go in there, but here's the top of the stitch, so slice the icing and you'll see that there's that little part right there that's below the hook. So go right in between there like that and then make your single crochet. Here, see how it leaves that piece below the hook when you slice the icing? Yeah, do it like that. Okay, I think that will make a nice little design. See how you can see it peeking through there? I like that. Alright, just wanted to show you that. So I've made it back around, put my single crochet in the last stitch there. I'm going to bypass that chain 1 and just slip stitch into the first single crochet I made of that round, like that. Chain 1, I'm going to cut my yarn, fasten off. I'm going to turn this inside out. I'm going to insert my crochet hook in there, just kind of go through some loops in the area, pull through like that, but don't pull all the way through. Now I'm going to chain 1 and now pull through, and that'll create a knot. Then I will cut this down and that will serve as my tag for this hat, and it'll always tell me where the back of it is. Okay, you can also take that darning weaving tapestry needle that I told you you would need for this initial tail at the beginning when we started the circle. Just feed the yarn through the hook or the needle and then just kind of, so here's the circle, right? And we're working on the inside. Just go across, go through some stitches like that, pull it through like that. And then always just go across from where you are. So now we're on this side, so we're going to go across over here, across to the other side. And this will help to close up that hole, that circle, okay? Now we're over here, so we'll go across over there. Just go through some stitches. You don't have to do precisely what I'm doing, in terms of where I'm entering. But yeah, just keep going through stitches across from where you are, and eventually the hole will close more and more. Okay, and then when you're done, you can just go through some stitches like that, and you can create a little knot. So if that were still on the hook, like this, in fact I'm going to put it on the hook as it came out. Okay, now it's through. I'm just going to go through the circle to create a knot like that. Okay, and now I'll pull down, and now it's knotted. The circle is closed. I can cut this down if I want, or I don't have to cut it because it's on the inside anyway. But yeah, you guys, and now you see it's closed. Okay, so this is the Slouchy hat. You zoom out a little bit, or a lot. So let's find the back. Where's the tail? Where's the tag? It's there. Okay, so that's the back. So that means this is the front. Okay, let me go out some more. And yeah, this is what you have. So for all of you who were asking for a hat to match the scarf that I made last year, here you go. That is going to be it for this video, but you know I'll see you in the next one. In the meantime, happy crocheting.